And we're live. Okay, welcome everybody to the first official Radio Graffiti Newgrounds show. So, if this is your first time, well, this is the first time, technically at 9 p.m., that you're listening. What this is Radio Graffiti. What we do here tonight is a bit of a showcase, a bit of music playing in the background. Right now, it's random tracks from the audio portal going on currently. And tonight we have a guest on the show. Every day we're going to have a new guest. Or not every day, every time we have the show on, we're going to have a new guest. And today's guest is ft.bluueygooey on twitter.com. Also on Newgrounds. And if you want to find their work, it's BLUUEYGOOEY. Bluueygooey. And yeah. Welcome to the show, Bluey.
Hey, I'm really happy to be here.
Yeah. It's good to have you on. It's good to actually start this up, and welcome to being the first official guest and everything on here.
Yeah, I was really stoked about it. Once you announced it, I was like, alright, now's my chance.
Yeah, no, I'm super glad that you actually picked up and we're like, yeah, no, let's do it. We just had a random DM from 2 weeks ago now that I announced that.
Yeah.
And I was like, yep, nope, if you want to come on the show, go ahead.
Honestly, I was a little bit skeptical at first, because I overthink things sometimes, but I'm really happy to have this opportunity to just sort of be on here, maybe get to know you better, and, just answer whatever you throw at me.
Yeah! No, that's no issue. Give everybody just a quick intro on who you are, what you do, and all that jazz.
Alright, hello, you can call me Bluey, as mentioned in my Twitter handle. I am an artist of the not safe kind. I do draw very, voluptuous types of characters, but I'm also typically seen drawing a lot of fandom-related stuff, because it's what I like, it's what I do. I also do have the Safe for Work alt, though I'm gonna be completely honest, I'm not the most active on there, usually. Oops.
No, that's all good.
But otherwise, you will find me most active on my Twitter. I also have an Instagram, same as before, and I am very fresh and new to Newgrounds, so please be gentle with me. I'm getting to know how this thing works.
You're all good. If you want a good platform to post not safe for work art, Newgrounds is definitely the platform for it.
Hell yeah.
Better than literally most other sites. Unlike, remember the Tumblr purge from all the way back when?
Oh god, I think I remember as it happened. I was there, I lived through that moment.
Yeah, and then we're kind of going through a bit of another purge right now.
I'm very aware.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to do right now with Radio Graffiti specifically is just introduce people to artists, specifically people on Newgrounds to new artists that they wouldn't be looking at intently. Trying to put people on new artists. Really, really, really want this show to showcase what everyone's doing. And want to ask, do you have any projects that you're working on currently right now?
Projects. Ugh. Okay, I think mentally a few.
Yeah.
I'm coming up with some stuff in my head, but one project I kind of have on hold right now is the Gossip Fodlin sticker series. I do have some up on my shop, but basically the whole, intent behind that was that I take every single, main female character from Fire Emblem Three Houses and I just turn them into goth. That's pretty much it. It's very simple. The last character that I sort of stopped on was, I believe, Marianne.
Mm-hmm.
And I meant to work on Dorothea next, because I put up a poll forever ago, and she's the next one I'm going to work on. I kind of stopped for a bit because I panicked when I realized that I was having a really hard time imagining how to design Dorothea in like a goth style.
Okay.
Yeah, when I hit Roblox like that, my projects sort of like fizzle out a little bit, but I do intend to come back to it at some point. I really do. It's been really fun coming up with all those different types of designs, honestly, and it's been like a fun challenge, you know, to develop my art style as well as I make each new sticker, if that makes sense.
No, I completely feel that. When I saw your project for Goth 3 Houses characters, I was like, oh, this is actually kind of sick, and I was just in the back of my head waiting, like, when are you gonna do Marianne? Like, when's Marianne gonna happen?
Yeah, the also fun part about it was like I didn't think of a specific order to go in with, but then I was like, oh my god, my favorite thing, making polls, having the public decide. So I would go in, I guess, somewhat of an order of like the most popular to the least popular, because most popular characters always dominate the polls every single time, so I didn't want any like unfair picks in there. And you know, eventually I worked at whenever, you know, a poll would end and I would see, okay, so one for this one, cool. Then I would move on to the next one, and that was kind of the cycle I was working on. I did kind of come up with a look that I want for Dorothea. I might have to refine it a bit in my head, but hopefully once I'm happy with what I think might work for her, I'll start sketching it out, and the next sticker should come up soon.
Okay, dope. So we're looking forward to Dorothy as the next goth character.
Yes. Another thing is, I can't say too much, or like at least reveal too much, but I am currently working on my piece that's going to be part of a Felix and for Bernadetta zine, which is really fun. Yes! This isn't my first zine, technically. Forever ago, I was a part of a zine event called Fire Emblem Heroes. Like, it was based off of the mobile game. It doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately, but that was my early experiences with creating for zines, and it's been a really long time, and I've kind of been like itching to get into zine work again. And so I'm here. I'm going to be working as a page artist and a merch artist. I'm designing 2 different types of merch, a print and a sticker. Anything else, I'll have to wait to reveal it whenever the mods decide, because we're trying to, like, you know, keep most things. We're trying to wait on certain progress because everyone's working at different pace right now. It was a zine that was kind of open to anyone to join, so thankfully I was thankfully given the opportunity to just sort of jump right in and just be able to start working on a handful of things. Honestly, it's also my first time working as a merch artist specifically. It's going to be all digital stuff too, I believe. Right. Yes, most digital merch, except for like stickers or anything that is going to be shipped out. But it's honestly very exciting because there's a bunch of artists that have the same love and appreciation for Felix and Bernadetta as characters and as a pairing as I do, and as well as some recognizable guest artists that I follow for their art, and also because they like Felix and Bernadetta, so it's a fun time all around.
Well, yeah, no. I'm surprised that there's enough artists, like fan artists, that are willing to do a Felix and Bernadetta just ship zine.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. It was because I'm mutual/friends with the one who's hosting it.
Gotcha.
Lucky. She is very passionate about this pairing. I think even more so than I am. So she wanted this, project to work out in a way where, because I'm shocked to say this, but Felix and Bernadetta are very underrated as a pairing within the Three Houses fandom. So it's also a good way to bring a lot of attention to it and, be able to put out as much Felly Burton content as possible. So I think what she's doing is really, really cool.
I feel that. I'm trying to think of, who did I pair off Bernadetta with? Or who did I try to, max out?
Can I give, an honest guess?
Yeah, go ahead.
Just based off your vibe. I feel like you might have paired her with Linhart. That's, in the back of my head. Yes.
No, who did I put Linhart with?
Oh my god.
Maybe Dorothea. That's what I think. That's what I did.
That's so based. Oh my god.
But no, I think it was this is not a canon ship because they don't have an S rank, I think. But I did Bernadetta and Sylvain.
Oh my god,
Because,
yes, dude.
because I really, really, really enjoy their dynamic. I just love how Sylvain's just a fanboy of Bernadetta's, like, you know, fanfics. Pretty much.
Yes! We don't have enough, like, Sylvain Bernie lovers out here in this world, I swear. They're so underrated. This is exactly why I believe that Sylvain deserves, like, 1,000,000 A supports with every character that he spoke to. Why did he have so many, like, very little, like, romance options? We were robbed. I think they're so cute together. They're so silly.
He doesn't deserve romance. That's why.
No, that's so mean. But oh, that's so honestly, that's very based of you. I ended up warming up to that pairing a little bit as well. That's so cool.
But yeah. Oh, also, I forgot to mention super early on. This show will get recorded. It's currently being recorded right now, and I'll be putting it up on YouTube later on this week. If anyone missed this show, they can just watch it comfortably whenever they want.
Hell yeah.
But do support Newgrounds Radio. Anybody that's watching live right now, I gladly appreciate it. And
Hell yeah.
what else? Oh, Bernie and Felix. Interesting. Grandparent Felix is... Oh, I forgot her name. Casca, not Casca. The orange-haired girl.
I am so surprised that you can't, like, how does Annette correlate with that name? Wow. But, yeah, Annie, Felix, very common. I understand it. Not for me, but
There's
it's
street
pretty
performers
cute.
at the end of it that makes me laugh. I just like to imagine them as clowns.
It is pretty cute, I will admit. That's fair. That's very fair. Kind of shocked that you couldn't remember Annie's name. She's like one of the most popular characters, I think.
It has been years since I played Three Houses.
Oh, that's crazy, says me, the person who has replayed Three Houses like for the 7th time in a row.
Oh, dude, I have Fire Emblem friends, and they would be crucifying me right now because they talk about the game all the time.
Oh no!
Nah, it's all
Well, that's why you have me here, I suppose. I'll refresh your mind a little bit.
But other than that, so I've been noticing you've been posting a lot of Mercy art lately.
Oh boy.
Mercy Genji art, especially on Newgrounds too.
Yeah, guilty as charged. So, funny story. I used to be a part of Lay Overwatch fandom when it was around, when it came out. I want to say, like, 2017. And over time, you know, I kind of forgot about it as the game's popularity kind of began to fizzle out. And then Overwatch 2 came around. And it was like... insert, like, the clueless image. It's like, surely I won't fall back into the fandom pit and be absolutely obsessed with the characters in the story all over again. And, well, here I am now. I had seriously forgotten. Yeah, I'd seriously forgotten how much I love Mercy as a character. Also because mommy, also because she is genuinely attractive, but also she is just adorable, a sweetheart, everything about her. I love her. I care her so much. And I've just sort of been expressing that a ton with each new piece that I make that is about her. That's where we're at right now.
So you're a huge Mercy fan.
Yes!
And all that. And specifically...
Can you also believe I'm a Mercy main? Who would have thought?
Oh no!
No
How's
way!
Mercy right now in Overwatch, actually?
I was told she's gonna get patched, which makes me very nervous, because she is genuinely very fun to play as, and there's nothing wrong with her, I guarantee you. There's nothing to change. Well, maybe except for the fact that she deserves 2 reses instead of 1. That's just my opinion. But, currently, as of now, I think she is a very fun support character to play as. I hate the idea that she's somehow easy to play. If you don't know her moveset and how to move as her, and know how to optimally use like her guardian angel and every single tech that comes with it, you're gonna die and you're gonna suffer for like the entirety of the match. Please stop saying Mercy's easy. She's not like terribly difficult either, but she's not like entirely beginner friendly either. I think there's a lot to learn when wanting to become a Mercy main.
There's definitely a lot with Mercy to just... There's some nuance to how her kit goes. Way back when, though, back in like 2016 when I first played Overwatch, where she just had the ult that just reses everybody. And you just have dive bomb teams that just go and die on point, and then she just comes in, swoops, and then brings everyone back to life. And completely shifts the whole, like, range of the whole game. It's...
As fun as that was, I kind of get why they, axed it completely, because it's
100%.
like... no fun allowed. But okay.
Yeah.
I understand the criticism as well. It's like, oh, but Mercy back then, literally all you had to do was just wait for your whole team to die and then bring them back and then boom, play the game. But I do feel like now it takes a lot of sort of... It's kind of like a juggling act. Yeah. Taking care of yourself and looking after your team, because flankers will be on you constantly and you need to watch out for that, but also you need to stay alive long enough to keep your team alive. It's a really big balancing act, but for me it's worth learning and practicing and just, get good, lol. But I have fun with it, no matter how many times I may lose a team comp. It's not my fault, that's all I know.
I got you. How do you feel about solo tanks in Overwatch?
I'm gonna be real, it is such a major improvement over the first game.
Alright.
Reducing it from 6v6 to 5v5 has to have been the most brilliant idea they have come up with. Because it's no longer a shield shooting simulator where all you do is watch as the Orisa puts down her shield in front of the Reinhardt shield and then waste all your ammo just trying to shoot it to break it, only for them to deploy it once again. It's like, you're actually playing the game now. To kind of make up for the fact that there is a lack of a tank now, they've made all current existing tanks way more tankier. They kind of play like DPS, actually. They're just absolutely insane. There's a whole tank meta right now as well, just because of how good a good chunk of the tanks are. We don't talk about what they've done to our poor boy Doomfist. He has my condolences.
They turned him into a tank. To me, that's ridiculous.
What's even worse is that he's a really bad tank.
Oh, well, I mean, like, he was never a tank by design, so it's just,
Like, imagine Doomfist and everything that made him fun, and then they take all of that away, and that's what you have in Overwatch 2. That's Overwatch 2 Doomfist. You don't play Doomfist to go in there and, like, harass the enemy team. You go in there to tickle them for a little while and then die. That's the best way I can put it.
For me, the most fun I had when I played Doomfist way back in the day was just slamming people into walls.
Oh yeah, well, say goodbye to your uppercut, because that doesn't exist anymore.
Well, rip.
Yeah. No fun alone. Rip my boy. But genuinely, I think that was a much needed change, because they've reduced the amount of shields significantly. There's only like a handful of characters I know that actually maintain their shields. And I mean, someone like Orisa, she got a complete rework, and she absolutely she owns as a tank. She's fantastic now. The 5v5 composition definitely worked out in this game's favor, and it feels like you're able to play a game now, which is great in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I gotta try Overwatch 2, because I haven't been playing it at all, because I've just been super annoyed with Activision Blizzard, and me personally, I'm playing Gundam Evolution with my buds, and it's Overwatch, except there's like no healers. There is a healer in it, but it's Overwatch, but everything happens at like 100 times the speed. Everything dies super fast. But it's fun.
It's so funny because you're like the third person I know that mentions the Gundam Overwatch game.
Oh, okay. I was always going to play it because I'm a huge Gundam head, and
Based?
I just want to like any excuse to just not play Overwatch. I'll kind of take it gladly. But I hear good things about Overwatch currently right now. Speaking of, do you have any more fan art planned in the future for Overwatch?
I mean, yeah, I do. I did like mention a little fun sort of mini project series of like drawing the Overwatch gals. Let's say, God, explaining it out loud is so stupid. It sounds so stupid.
Oh no, go ahead.
Of, like,
we're all here for it.
Of like, I guess thickening in all the right places. God, but in the back of my head, aside from the funny, haha boob stuff, I do want to draw like more of my favorite characters. I actually have a handful, believe it or not. Mercy isn't my only favorite. I have huge love in my heart for Ash and Kiriko and Brigitte.
Oh yeah,
they're
Ash
like
is a cool design.
some of my huge faves. I definitely need to do them justice by drawing them way more often.
Yeah, go for it.
I need to draw way more of Genji and Mercy. Hello, they're my everything. I can't live without them. I've decided that. If I die, they come with me because I refuse to live in a world where they aren't constantly together, so I need to contribute way more to Genji and Mercy.
Okay. I can actually finally get into this right now, because we were talking before the show, but we've been holding off conversation. Genji is actually my Overwatch main. And I've been teasing it, like, why is he my main? It's because literally every time I hear anybody say Genji in like voice chat, when our team had a Genji, I would always think they're talking to me because like my name is Genchi, like my full name, and that's what my mom calls me. And like whenever I hear Genji, I'm like hearing somebody call my name. So like whenever the enemy team, like that enemy team, whenever our team is just saying, "Hey Genji, can you do this?" and I'm just like saying, "Huh," I tilt my head, being like, wait, are you talking to me? Oh no, it's actually they're talking to the Genji. And then I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'll just start playing Genji and just like eliminate this problem once and for all, so I know they're talking to me.
God, that is actually amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my god. He was made for you, I think. He exists solely for you. That's my headcanon.
No, it's because my name is like two C's, G-N-C-C-I. Yeah. But then Genji is just Genji, G-N-J-I, and I'm like, close enough.
I mean, come on.
No, it's right there. And he also has my favorite outfit in the whole game too. The Sentai outfit. The one where he has the green scarf and the beautiful Joe V on his head.
I told you, he was just made for you.
And he's green,
don't lie.
And I'm just like, you know what? I gotta play this character.
I mean, it was a perfect match from the start. Like, that's how all love stories start out. You can't tell me otherwise. Yeah. I'm convinced at this point. That's awesome. I think that's genuinely amazing.
No, and he also has my favorite voice line in the entire game. I need healing.
Yeah.
He just makes me laugh. He's just such a funny character.
He is! Oh my god, he has the funniest, like, I need healing or I need help voice line. Oh, it's the best.
Yeah.
Like, that's amazing. That is actually so cool.
Otherwise, my previous main before Genji was Reinhardt.
Oh, okay, so we just have, like, a literal Chad right here. I'm of the full belief that there's only ever a good Reinhardt main. There are no bad ones.
He is just so much fun, because I just love charging. Especially, what was that map? The Greek map, where it's the capture the point.
Ilios?
Ilios, yeah. The Ilios map where, like, there's a home with, like, 4 openings inside there. And, like, there's a pit right outside.
Yes!
And just as Reinhardt, it's my favorite thing is just, like, pushing all the enemies out. And knocking them all out.
I'm glad you have fun on Ilios. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you have fun on Ilios. That is like my most detested map of all time. But it's good to hear that you get something out of it.
Yeah. But
It's awesome.
no. Oh, I got more Overwatch stories from back when I used to play in 2016. So this is a bit of Gens lore for everybody involved. When I was playing Overwatch, I was also going through cancer at the time, chemotherapy specifically, and Overwatch was just like, you know, whenever I finished my sessions, like for chemo, I would come home and like I'd be like dead tired, not doing anything, but I'd be playing Overwatch because it's easy enough to play. And what I used to do all the time, whenever, because like everyone cried toxicity in Overwatch constantly, and then I was just like in voice comms, I would just be like, "You guys are worse than the cancer that I'm dealing with right now, actually."
What?
And I would just go there to that point. I'm all better now. I should preface this right now, like, you know, going through it, went through it, chemo worked. I'm good right now.
I am so happy to hear that, dude. Holy, oh wow.
But my favorite thing is just always putting it on people when I was playing the game. It's just like, you guys are worse than the cancer I'm dealing with. What I used to do, I used to play Symmetra too. And whenever people would really get me annoyed, I would just... Back when she had the teleporter ult.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I would just... like, when my team is, like, giving me shit, and, like, you know, they're calling me toxic or whatever because I'm playing Symmetra, because apparently I'm throwing because I'm playing Symmetra.
Let me guess. You do the funny teleporter thing where you put it off a ledge and what's the fault in it?
I'm like, you guys want to see toxic? I'll show you toxic.
I remember that so vividly. I used to be a Symmetra main back when you didn't need to aim as her. That was the funniest thing you could do. Oh, it was so worth it. Even if your whole team hated you for it, it was the best. It was simply the best. I mean, you could still technically do it, but I don't think Bear's brave enough to do it anymore.
Oh, now with the reporting features and everything? Yeah, no, that's not happening.
No. Oh, man. I mean, that's actually just kind of amazing. Wow. I mean, I'm really glad to have you here today. That must have been sort of like a rough patch you might have gone through, but I'm glad that you sort of found, you know, a way to cope with it, humor out of it.
Oh, yeah, no, I was making really jokes all the time. Because, like, you know, what else can you do when you're in that situation? But...
I mean, yeah.
Other than that... Yeah, no. I also had a huge period because I was going through school at the time.
Yeah.
And I had to take like a year off of school and everything like that. And Overwatch helped a lot too during that period. It's just something to do. I also was playing with friends a lot too. So I have like good memories of that period.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with like Overwatch, just sort of like, you know, bringing joy to people, but for me it's something like, you know, personal stuff happened at the time, and though I couldn't play like Overwatch at launch for very long, it helped me through like a ton. It helped me cope. It was genuinely the most fun, a good distraction for me during that time, and honestly, I made a lot of friends that I unfortunately don't remember to this day because it's been so long, but it was always a good time back then.
I have a bunch of like just moments that I remember from when I played Overwatch. There was this one mic spam Genji, and all he would do is just he would yell into the mic, "Yosh!" and like he would play like voice clips, like Japanese inspired voice clips, like the Naruto, like, you know, dun, 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 dun. And like,
awesome.
And whenever he got a kill and everything like that, he would like spam these like yelling voice lines, and it would make me laugh so much. My team hated it, but I was having the time of my life when he was mic spamming, because he would also play like, you know, Oriental, like traditional Japanese songs.
Oh man, that guy sounds amazing. Wow.
Oh no, I literally said like, yo, you want to just group together because I love playing with you, and he was really good too. Wow. I mean, yeah, sounds like a Genji main, I'm gonna be totally honest. Yeah. That just sounds like
The natural Genji main.
No, he was like such a shit poster, but I love it.
That was awesome. I kind of have like, I don't remember too much of like my experiences playing Overwatch back then, but one of my most cherished memories was at one point, because I was also playing Mercy as well at the time, was always a Mercy main, a very dedicated Mercy main. I think it was either, I'm pretty sure it was comp, where for whatever reason, all of a sudden, like in like mic chat, the team decided like, okay, we need to protect this Mercy at all costs, and they were very serious about it. So just for the entire game, they like made sure I did not die to the enemy team. I don't know why they did it. I don't know why they were so... Yeah, I was like, I don't know why they did it, why they were so dedicated, and like just like being so kind to me as well in like mic chat, but I felt so good during that day. It made me like the happiest person on earth, honestly. Like, I don't think I'll ever go through that again, but I love thinking back on it so much. Like, you have no idea.
Overwatch is filled with such good game design and like good like moments and a nice player base at times. At times. Well, yeah, I need to like preface that at times, but it just sucks that it's Activision Blizzard.
Yeah, I think that's sort of like, because I'm not gonna like sit here and pretend like, oh yeah, I totally think Activision Blizzard is so cool and they've never done anything wrong ever. I'm not blind to the many issues plaguing not only the game but the company that comes from it as well. But personally, I'm in it to support the dev team behind it, the people who have nothing to do with all the atrocities happening currently right now at Activision Blizzard. It's more so, and most of my love, I do love the game itself. Most of it does stem from the love for the story and the characters, because I'm just that type of person. I love fiction.
No, it's good stuff. I mean, I have so many gripes with Activision, and like also like the people that handle the PR for like Overwatch. It was just, before the launch was happening, all this stuff going through the diversity tier list. Did you hear about that?
Honestly, I'm kind of amazed that people still remember the diversity tier list thing. That was wild.
I was like, oh my god, you guys are not doing this right now.
Where would you rank on the diversity tier list? That's a real question.
Where would I rank? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. So, on the disability thing, I would like go up because of cancer.
Right.
I lost body parts. Nationality? I don't know where Eastern Europeans land on that. I'm gonna say low.
Oh. Yeah.
Because, okay, here's what I learned about the diversity tier list. It's not based about like any real like actual like social construct. It's literally about like representation of like people within games. Not like,
that's just crazy.
Not like movies, not society or anything like that. And it's just like, it started to turn into like old people were like maxing out in like the age like tier, because there are not that many old people you get to play as in games. So like
insane.
Torbjorn was like actually getting super high on that tier list because like he missed an arm. He's an old dude, so like, you know, he's getting up there.
Wow.
Like he ranks high in diversity, and I was like, that's interesting, Blizzard.
Very interesting.
Soldier 76 got a patch. Is the thing. It's just like, you know, they're like, oh yeah, he was ranking kind of low and we need to like, you know, do a hotfix on him. We gotta like announce, like, you know, reveal information we were hiding from everybody that he's gay. Now
that's actually so crazy.
Yeah.
It reminds me of this random thought that I had once about like Overwatch has got to have one of the most diverse like cast of characters that I've ever seen. But it's always amazing to me that practically nobody cares because it's Overwatch.
Yeah.
That's always kind of stuck with me, you know? I mean, I don't blame people, but I still think it's just one of the funniest things ever.
Well, too bad they're stuck in Overwatch.
Yeah, I mean, always sort of a love-hate relationship with Overwatch, but
Yeah.
I do think that in its current state has a lot of potential. It's really fun right now. I think that hopefully in the future most of its pressing issues get resolved. But I mean, yeah, what can I say? I think it's fun. I enjoy it. I'm guilty. Sue me.
Who knows? We might get a resurgence on Overwatch fan art on Newgrounds right now.
Oh, that would be insane. I think. I
And
think that would be
you
crazy.
could play a part in that if you want.
I'm dedicated. That's exactly what I'm going for.
What else? Oh yeah. Again, huge thing for this radio show that I'm doing right now. I want to introduce people to artists on Newgrounds, to Bluey right now that's on right now is an artist on Newgrounds also. Just started.
Yeah.
And
I'm new.
How are you liking Newgrounds? Just wanted to ask.
Well, I do find it a little bit of like a kind of a pity that there's, as far as I'm aware, no mobile version of it.
Yeah, there's not gonna be an app for a while.
Yeah, I'm kind of like the most. I mostly do all my posts from my phone,
Yeah.
but I think that it's pretty good. I like the UI. I actually like how much I can edit my profile. I think it's absolutely great that there's an option to sort of allow, sort of like, what can be done with your work. Like if you allow it to be reposted, edited, etc. That's how you know they care about artists on there, which is insane to me. Never seen that before, but I think that's really great. I kind of like that the voting system works completely differently to how other like interactions work on different platforms. Because most artists, they kind of just zero in and hyper-focus a lot on how many like interactions a post gets. Like, oh, we're starting to, at this point, like you're starting to count how many likes or retweets or whatever something has. I think the voting system, because of how it works, it kind of makes you worry less about that.
Yeah, that's what I like about Newgrounds. The voting system is really nice. It has a view system too. Like you see how many people have looked at it, which I feel says more about how people are interacting with your art than anything else. Because on Newgrounds, you actually have to click and see people's art. You can't just like, scroll through it or anything like that, and that doesn't count as a view.
Yeah, that I think that's also really, really good as well. I don't know, I think so far, just the presentation and the way that you're able to upload, it's been very appealing to me. I think I'm definitely gonna try and stick around for a while. I need to make myself a banner. I've not made myself a banner for anything on any platform. I should. But other than that, really, I do think it's really good. It feels very welcoming too, for like new people who join. Now it's just a matter of like finding artists that I can discover new artists that I might like on there, or even figure out that maybe some artists that I'm following right now have a Newgrounds profile. I'll have to look around on that, but yeah, I really do enjoy my time on there so far. I mean, I think I made an account like 2 days ago or something, but it's been really good for right now as it is.
No, glad to have you on. It's also just right now a lot of people are coming onto Newgrounds, and I'm just looking at accounts that are just a few days old, and they're already hitting the front page because we really do want to have new and varied artists on here, and Tom and all the other people on here just like really want to try to just push the platform more, show diversity in like art, like different styles, different looks, because like sometimes on Twitter like you would see trends of what people are doing, and on Newgrounds there aren't really that many trends. We have days where it's just like it's Pico Day, so on the front page you're always going to see like Pico on Pico Day or Madness Week.
Oh, like a little government mandated holiday. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, no, now we have to actually respect the history.
I mean, on that end, I think that's actually really, really cool, especially bringing up the idea of trends. That rings so true, especially to Twitter, because I think one of the really only biggest ways to get a little bit luckier and put yourself out there is if you end up hopping on a trend, which I think is super counterproductive towards what artists typically do. We shouldn't have to constantly be following trends in order to, get people to like what we make or see what we make. So the fact that the front page, the way it works on Newgrounds, is just to literally showcase a bunch of art from new or established artists, I think that's really, really cool and really, really useful. And I do like the specific events that they have there, like the days. I think those are so fun.
Oh yeah.
And kind of funny, because I know people make really silly stuff sometimes. I've seen some works for Pico Day, because it somehow bled over onto Twitter at one point.
Yeah, because Pico Day is kind of an event now, and it's just a big part of Newgrounds history. Currently, right now, just a shout out for what's happening on Newgrounds at the moment, is Secret Santa 2022.
Ooh.
Set up on Newgrounds. If anyone wants to join, I don't have the time, sadly, to be working on it because I'm working on a bunch of different projects at the moment. But if you're on Newgrounds right now, I highly recommend hopping on board to the Secret Santa 2022 prompt.
I see. That sounds really fun.
You get paired with a random artist, and someone gets paired with you, and you just don't know who's gonna be who. And draw a person's character, OC, persona, and that's pretty much it. The only thing with this, since it's a group project on Newgrounds, there's no not safe for work you can do on it, because
yeah, that's fair.
Minors are going to be joining the event. And everyone's included. Yeah, so it's just no, that's the thing with Newgrounds. There are kids on Newgrounds, is the thing. And the beauty of Newgrounds is you can set your content to be rated E, T, M, or adults only.
Yeah, that's definitely another thing that I appreciate. The rating is very much necessary for certain artists.
Dude, I have no issue opening Newgrounds on my phone on the web app. Not the web app, on mobile.
Yeah.
And I can just set my preferences to be I only want to see rated E art, I only want to see T art, so nobody knows that I'm I don't have the random porn jump scare.
Random jump scare in public. Yeah, I think that's another thing that I really appreciate about that. Filters kind of work on certain platforms, but I think the rating system is definitely something other sites should follow.
I feel like it's the best on Newgrounds, personally.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Literally, you can curate your feed and what you want to see. And you're not at risk of, seeing something you don't want to see.
Boob jump scare.
Yeah, no, you're not going to see, random, tits jump out at you.
Oh, scary.
Unless you're looking for it.
Get them out of my face.
Alternatively, you can set Newgrounds to be adult only content.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, if you're in that mood or something like that. Kids, don't do that. Kids listening on the show, don't
do that. Do not do that.
Stay on E. We made
in fact, get off the internet.
Honestly, that's what I'm saying, but I'm not, I don't want to talk shit. It's just I remember being a fucking middle schooler on Newgrounds way back in the day, seeing stuff that I should not have been able to.
So yeah, I think that's sort of the weird growing up experience.
Yeah.
That most people have.
That said, nowadays I don't think that's a good thing for kids. Just
no.
Just the full parasocial element of everything online.
It's hey, I might have been stupid when I was your age, but don't be the same type of stupid I was, okay?
No, it's the thing is just yeah, you can be stupid, you can be a dumb kid, it sucks being a dumb kid now versus being a dumb kid back then.
Oh yeah, for sure. Protect yourselves, kids out there. Please, for your sanity, for your well-being. Do it for me.
It also is 9 p.m. EST right now. I doubt kids are tuning into this right now.
Scaring every single kid who's up past their bedtime.
It's okay.
Army, shouldn't you be asleep right now?
I have not mentioned Friday Night Funkin', so
Oh god,
they don't
that's
care.
right. They don't care, literally. Oh, I was gonna mention like Friday Night Funkin' because I was thinking back on like the whole Pico thing. It's like that's the way that I kind of found out about Newgrounds a little bit.
Oh yeah, no, okay. So when did Friday Night Funkin' come out? 2018, I think. No, 2020. Wait. Oh.
Yeah.
When was Friday Night Funkin' big? Yeah, it's super easy for me to look this up. I can just like type Friday Night Funkin' on Newgrounds. Okay, Friday Night Funkin'. Let me look at when this came out. November 1st, 2020. Okay.
Jesus Christ.
What a start to No Nut. But
That's awesome.
But yeah, no, 2020, like 2 years ago today, and not today, but this month. And
wow.
It breathed new life into Newgrounds, dude.
For sure. I remember as all of that went down. It was insane.
Because Newgrounds, bless Tom, bless everything about Newgrounds, but like it's just tough to like keep an audience on Newgrounds.
Oh, for sure.
But Friday Night Funkin' did wonders for the site.
Oh, for sure. Mainly because from at least my perception as an outsider, just looking in, it kind of carries its a kind of edgy reputation from the early 2000s, I feel.
Friday Night Funkin'?
Oh, no, Newgrounds.
Oh, Newgrounds, yeah.
Like, at least from what I've seen, because it was birthed during the days where everything was unrestricted, so...
Oh, I just gotta give a quick shout out to Ninja Muffin 99 on Newgrounds for, you know, coding and making Friday Night Funkin' and also Phantom Arcade.
Yeah, and respect to the both of them. And
Kawaii Sprite for the music, because, like, you know, they pretty much invented a new genre of, like, you know, creation. Friday Night Funkin' mods.
Oh my god. That has got to be the most craziest thing I've ever seen explode in popularity recently.
It's ridiculous. The amount of artists that are, like, you know, discovering themselves and putting themselves out there because of Friday Night Funkin' is ridiculous.
I mean, I gotta respect that, honestly.
Eventually, I gotta make fan art again.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, because like the only thing that I took from Friday Night Funkin' is two things. One, I was not good at playing Friday Night Funkin'. I can't play like
rhythm games,
like DDR type rhythm games. Like I can play like Muse Dash, and that's about it. But that style of rhythm game, no, I'm really bad.
Oh, that's
my hand-eye
hilarious.
coordination is kind of stinky too. And another thing is it lasted for such a brief time, but it was an obsession and fascination with learning about Pico schools.
Oh,
I have my head in my hands right now.
Pico School was such a fucking trip. Shout out Tom Pulp. But like... Wait, did you do like the multiple like Pico, like, you know, school play? Because like there's been a bunch of Pico content that Tom has made.
I think I watched like all of the related Pico School like gameplay footage that exists out there. Like the main Pico School game and then like all the little spin-offs. I went down this really insane rabbit hole of like, I want to learn about this guy's origins. Like, everyone's talking about him. And, well, that was like a trip and a half.
Yeah. It was definitely
his
a different
existence
era.
is kind of cursed. Yeah, it's like, oh, wow. but it, like, in a kind of a morbid way, it fascinated me. And then, like, for, like, a brief amount of time, I was really obsessed with Pico School.
Yeah.
Which is, like, probably the worst words to come out of my mouth, but it's true.
I mean, it's like people that are getting into South Park, like, currently right now. Like, a bunch of, like...
Oh, yeah.
Middle schoolers and, like, tweens getting into South Park, apparently. And, like, it has that same energy, Pico. Because it's just like...
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It is... hyper edgy content, and it's just so over the top too. It's kind of like comical. I mean, it is
really funny.
The joke is it's like ridiculously edgy.
Yeah, I think it's actually like super goddamn funny.
Yeah.
Its whole existence, like what happens within the game itself. It's like, Tom, how did you come up with this? Like, what ideas were brewing in that malicious head of yours? Like, full respect to you, but what was going on back then?
I'm pretty sure Tom was just like, trying to make his own version of like commentary of stuff that was happening.
Oh, it's like it is almost as if it was like a South Park inspired video game. It's really funny to look back on it. And then all of a sudden, after I was like done sort of like hyper analyzing every single piece of Pico school lore, I just kind of forgot about it for a good amount of time. That's like the really weird part of my life there. It's like, I was once fixated on Pico school. Like, yeah, okay, that just happened.
Yeah, I mean, Pico was like, oh, dude, just a part of my life for like, again, adolescence, middle school.
Yeah.
Oh, Newgrounds was a completely different place back in the day too. We had like portals. We didn't have the front page as it looks like right now.
Right.
Or yeah, there was like the Mega Man portal. If you just wanted like Mega Man content, you would just go to the Mega Man portal and it would spend literal years on that thing, just looking at like new Mega Man stuff or sprite animations that people made.
Pretty cool, actually.
And Newgrounds also is really good for games too. Like if you want to be an up and coming like game designer and you want to like really put your stuff out there, I do recommend going on Newgrounds. Newgrounds is also phenomenal for collaborations. You can just make like
oh yeah,
a collab post and see who comes on. A lot of voice actors on Newgrounds, a lot of musicians, programmers. It's a really good spot to just make things with other people.
Yeah, I wanted to mention that. I also appreciate that there's different types of like art that exists on there. Like, I think it's wonderful that like just full-on games can be created and just put on there. There's also animation as well. It's like really diverse with what type of art you can get out of it, so that's just another really cool factor from it.
There's a lot of variety, and that's what I really like about Newgrounds. I've been like going back on Newgrounds since 2018 when I really like got back in. I uploaded my student film on there. Oh, people are saying, hold up, let me just adjust a few things right here. Alright, I think this should be fine right now. Because my voice was a bit low.
Okay, I see.
But yeah, no. Newgrounds has always been just really good at variety, showcasing different people. And oh, I lost my train of thought because I was like thinking too much about like, how my audio is going through. Whoops.
Fine, I get it. I do think that it's such a shame that it's kind of like an underrated platform because of that. Like, it's so accessible to so many different types of creators that I wish I would have discovered it sooner, and I kind of wish now that more people would like sort of, get on it and spread it around a bit more. Yeah. Like, even despite its extended history, I don't think it's ever been, to the same level as like Twitter or Instagram, really.
So the thing with Newgrounds, and this is like my only critique of the site, is there's very little interaction like the average person can do on Newgrounds. Right. Just off the get-go. Because all you can really do is chuck a comment on a post, and the most you can get out of that is a reaction or a comment from the creator responding to it. And then the conversation ends right there.
Oh, I see.
And Newgrounds does have forums. I mean, that's how I got the radio show, just going on the forum. But I don't recommend the forum for an average person. I think the way how like social media has conditioned people, forums are just not the way to go.
Yeah, that's how I think. Yeah, that's very fair. I mean, hopefully I would want to keep up interactivity as much as I do on my current existing platform as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if there is just a better means of being able to interact with other people, they should definitely, look into improving that sort of thing. But I mean, otherwise, it sounds like almost like the perfect artist curated website ever, honestly.
Oh, no. For artists, it's perfect. You have, I think, the best gallery system ever. Because it's all like, you can see people's art divided by year made, and you can see people's evolution as you go through it. And it's really cool.
Oh yeah, that's honestly perfect. I mean, especially during a time where many other platforms are kind of burning themselves to the ground.
Oh yeah.
I think we kind of need a place like Newgrounds.
Deviant art, dude? Have you been hearing?
I actually went to go listen to the Twitter space held by like the people working at DeviantArt, and like that one artist, RJ Palmer.
Yeah.
It was abysmal. Jesus Christ.
I don't know how DeviantArt decided like right now, because I think here's my theory. DeviantArt saw Twitter was going to shit with like, how everyone's like doom posting about like, Twitter's ending. And they're like, artists are saying we want to leave Twitter because like, this is our spot. And then DeviantArt was like, yeah, artists come through. And then they started to think like, AI art though? And I'm like, no, DeviantArt, you chose the wrong time to mention any of this.
Oh man.
Whatever.
I think what was the most... Yeah, I think the thing that like really got to me the most was that they immediately launched like the whole like AI thing, and decided that automatically every single person's like uploaded work was gonna be able to be used to be turned into AI art. And I'm like, there was no way they thought that was a good idea.
They also set it by default. They have to opt out. Like, the users need to opt out themselves. And I'm like, well... So it makes me think this. What AI company contacted DeviantArt and said, yo, can we use your, database to feed our programs? And then DeviantArt was like... And they had to have given them a lot of money for it, too.
Oh, for sure.
And then DeviantArt said, you know what? This is worth more to us than, the goodwill of artists that we built up for years, decades. I met a lot of people through DeviantArt, actually, way back in the day. I was not an artist on there. I just, liked looking at art back in the day. Like,
my days, they're kind of like haunted memories now, because I was really young. And, I mean, I didn't have, a very, huge following, not at all. I was part of the Warrior Cats fandom at the time, okay? That was my thing. It's true. I was a funny little, Warrior Cats, kid who wanted to roleplay on DA, and I'm pretty sure... I don't know if I'm making this memory up now. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm just gaslighting myself into thinking this was something that was real, but I swear to God, there was, chat rooms on DA, and that's where you would have, role-playing sessions, and that was how I spent my time on there. It was... I had, and I would also post my art on there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I at the time, I had, kind of, fondish memories of, DA. I was like, oh, well, at least, out of everything that's happening right now, surely this specific website, despite its really weird fetish reputation, surely not. They wouldn't do something so stupid and shoot themselves in the foot, every other platform right now, and they did.
The amount of fetish art on DeviantArt is kind of ridiculous.
My favorite type is the circle tool stuff. I'm sure you've seen it before.
Circle tool, and the craziest part about it comes up in the front page of DeviantArt.
Yeah.
And I'm like, props to you guys for showcasing different artists, but man, maybe you can curate it just a little bit.
It's crazy. It's either the circle tool stuff or how they take real they edit real images onto cartoon characters sometimes. How they sometimes put real feet on like a
Yeah.
cartoon character.
And
Yeah.
they like color corrected just to match the character sometimes too. Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing. Like, honestly, I don't understand it, but I kind of respect it a little bit, mainly because it made me laugh. But to think that that funny website would turn into an AI hellscape is just... Well, it's like, well, that's one way to start the month of November, I suppose. Like,
Yeah.
sure, DeviantArt, do whatever you want at this point. Like, great way to kill off whatever remains of your user base. Fantastic.
A lot of people
and the
are
thing
also,
about
yep.
the thing is, like, the recent development with the whole entire they need to opt out of it. Apparently, the guy RJ Palmer, huge respected artist, he was fighting so hard with these people to change that, and it worked. They eventually listened to him, and they're like, okay, we took back all the feedback, like totaling their sums and like embarrassment and shame and guilt, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna make sure that now it's not like automatically like by default that that you're opted in. Now you have to make the choice yourself to do that. And I'm like thank God. Like, why wasn't that your first decision from the beginning? Why was that so hard?
Because
Huh?
okay, with enough backlash, I always say this: bullying works. You can bully these platforms into being like, you know what, maybe this was a bad idea, and then they will double back on it. But the problem is, well, people saw your true colors. It's very tough to, like, you know, double back on that.
It's over. It's over. You already, like, you dug your grave. You gotta lay in it now.
Yeah, no, exactly.
I mean, personally, I would have preferred if there was no AI-related anything at all on that site, but that's, I guess, one step in the right direction. It sucks all around. AI has been, like, an absolute nightmare for me. Instead of, like, I'm just one person standing by, looking at it plague my timeline and just all the general discourse. It's been so tiring because I've made it clear before, but I'm of the personal belief that, like, there's no such thing as AI art or AI artist.
Yeah.
It's so stupid because, and you know it comes from people who have no respect for artists whatsoever. And every single time someone wants to put in, like, a good faith argument to, like, say, well, maybe, like, AI isn't that bad, everything about it has been really, really bad. Like, for one, most people have complained about artists and their commissions. It's always about the commissions. Like, this is too expensive. I can't afford a commission from this artist I like. Blah, blah, blah. It's like,
well,
okay, cool.
I mean, like, commissions are a luxury, dude. It's...
Yeah! Like, what did you expect? Like, I need money? I need to sustain myself?
It's like, oh no, I'm not gonna go eat at this fancy restaurant because it's too much money. I'm like, yeah, that's valid. Don't eat at that fancy restaurant. But, like, you know, you can't hate on the fancy restaurant.
Exactly, like, that's...
You can't hate on the chefs.
Choice. Yeah, like, it's a deliberate choice you make as a consumer.
Yeah.
To make a purchase, to give someone money because you're able to afford it. Not because you demand every single person give you what you want, just because you want it, but don't have the means to pay for it. So frustrating. And another thing is, of course, AI steals from artists. It just takes what it wants.
Yeah, I mean, like, because, like, you have to feed it information because it can't just make art out of nothing. Like, AI needs to be derivative of something.
And that has to be the worst part because I'm, like, thinking more of this now. Like, there are artists out there who probably can't even, like, protect their own work. Like, artists who probably don't have the means to, like, protect it legally, or artists who have passed away, unfortunately. What happens when their work gets taken advantage of? Like, that is genuinely awful. Like, that's grave robbing at that point, and I think that has got to be the worst offense to come out of, like, these AI creations. And you just know these are the same tech bros that came from NFTs as soon as all of that went crashing down. They just jumped onto the next tech fad, is what it is.
I don't even want to start talking about NFTs. I mean, hey, another plus to Newgrounds is Tom Pope has himself stated no AI art is allowed on Newgrounds. And if you guys have referenced AI art, you gotta say that you've referenced the AI art, because he will not allow it. That's grounds for banning on Newgrounds. Do not post
Oh
AI
my
art.
god, I fall to my knees and I like raise my arms in the sky and I say thank you, because how hard is it to just say no? like be honest here. Like, I think that is again another way to show that that website truly cares for artists.
Yeah, no. Tom has stated multiple times that Newgrounds is for artists, not for, like, you know, tech bros or anything like that. Unless you want to make games, then, you know, welcome.
Every single tech bro grifter is like grinding their teeth and shaking their fists in rage at the fact that Mr. Tomfold doesn't allow their silly little AI project on there. It's like, oh, well, sucks to be you. I don't care.
Yeah, no, it's I have a lot of issues with AI art, but what really makes me laugh is you're never gonna get AI music.
That is so true.
Because
that is so true.
Because the music industry, you know, as shit as it is sometimes, will fight tooth and nail for copyright. And art doesn't really get that same luxury, is the thing. I feel people don't respect art as much as they respect music. And I have a few theories about this too, actually. Here's what I've said. For AI art, it's because, like, people have this misconception of art versus music, right?
Right.
That people are just naturally born good at art. And they're like, oh, you're not working that hard because you're, like, you know, naturally good at art. And whatever, let's take that into, like, consideration, right? But people will respect music more because they have this understanding, because there's a gate for music. Like, music is naturally gatekept by price because, you know, buying instruments are expensive. They're like a huge investment to make, and it's not everyone can get an instrument off the get-go, but, like, you know, you can pick up a piece of loose leaf and a pencil and just start drawing, and that's where people start to be like, oh yeah, you can do art easy, but music, no, you have to, like, really devote time to it and, like, you know, get an instrument, because, like, for some reason an instrument makes more sense to, like, the average person than drawing or a pencil. And, like, oh, because you have this instrument, you're taking the time to learn it. And I'm like, dude, that's what I'm doing with art too. I'm learning how to draw.
Yeah, I think that's a very, like, fair theory. It might as well be true. It's kind of like almost like film in a sense as well. Like, there's just a higher level of respect for people who, like, make, like, there's, like, the most popular films that exist out there currently. It's like those, and it's the most twisted part of me is that those sometimes, like, any movie, like, think of, like, your most favorite movie of all time, that'll be considered art.
Yeah.
But sometimes what an artist makes, that doesn't count either. It's like, we have got to kill this conception that all artists are born with this insane amount of talent. I hate that word. And it's like, they don't need to, like, practice or learn anything.
Yeah.
It's just given to them from birth.
It's even the child prodigies, because people, like, get this misconception all the time too. It's just like, what makes a child prodigy? The kid's been drawing all the fucking time. It is the thing. Yeah, of course the kid's gonna be a prodigy because he's spending all their time, or they're spending all their time just drawing non-stop, and they're gonna get good. If you draw non-stop, you're gonna get good.
Like, the general disrespect towards artists lately has been just kind of nightmarish to just look at.
It's kind of been that way all the time, though.
I know, I'm aware, but just, it feels like has kicked up in, like, recently, which is insane to me. I just kind of wish, like, for once, like, for just a day, we could give, like, artists the general respect and kindness and love that they deserve. Because we are over here quite literally breaking our backs, creating stuff that we want to put out there for people to see. And, you know, sometimes people will take one quick look at it and decide it's worth nothing, because I can do that too. I mean, sure, just go, like, take a couple of months or even years of time to practice and refine and develop your skill and learn every single bare necessity. like relating to anatomy and whatnot, and then like come back to me when you understand that it actually took me time to make something. Like I'm fed up with it at this point. Like I just kind of want to create in peace and not worry about how people around me perceive me as an artist, and just decide that I am worth something or not, depending on what I make, you know?
That's definitely a struggle, and I know it took me personally a while for, like, you know, my parents to, like, start seeing, like, hey, this is actually something you're, like, you know, getting, like, money for, so you know you're doing well with it. And I'm like, yeah, I want to do this more full-time, I want to make my comic more full-time and all that jazz.
Yeah, honestly, I think especially artists who do commit to making, you know, a career out of their skill is just even more respectable and deserves more general respect.
Yeah.
And just, I don't understand this sudden notion of, like, that's not a real job. It's like, shut up. I am making real money.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Working real hours. How is this not a real job?
Are you putting in the time? Then yeah, you are in a real job.
Yeah, like, I just...
What's a fake job?
Literally, what is a fake job? Oh,
yeah.
I know. Grifters online, NFT bros. Yeah, that's it.
Scammers.
That's a fake
Scamming's
job.
a fake job.
Yeah, that's a fake job. I'm not scamming anyone. I'm making real, genuine art and putting it out there. And hello, like, it's a transaction. Like, I don't know what you would expect me to do. Like, they don't consider, like, if you don't go to college or if you don't study for a degree and if you don't go out there and have the most fanciest, high-paying job, like, then anything else, I guess, is not a real job. And it's like, okay, sure, whatever. You can think that while I'm out here making money to sustain myself. It's like, that's fine. I didn't even want to be recognized as a professional artist anyway.
Nah, I feel that, like, 100%. It's just super bizarre that anybody can just be like, oh, no, your skill set is not worth as much because, like, you know, I don't need it right now. And then they'll be like, yo, dude, I need graphic design for my logo for this thing that I'm making. And I'm like, yeah. Suddenly my skills are important, huh?
And then they want to pay you, like, absolute pennies and then get absolutely upset and mind blown that you don't want to... It's like, but this is so easy. Can't you just, like, make this in, like, 5 seconds? I bet I could do it. Then do it yourself. Don't come to me. Clearly you don't need me. Go do it. Go do it yourself then. If that's going to work out so well for you.
No, it's...
You know, and sometimes on that front, I kind of feel like a little mean, a little evil sometimes. But it's like, no, we've kind of been dealing with this for kind of, like, ever. And I think it's time we start pushing back on those misconceptions of how we're viewed as artists, as a collective. Because we let ourselves get trampled over way too easily, I think. I don't know what it is about artists mutually being very, like, shy, or just sort of like, oh no, it's okay, you can just put me down if you want. I'm not gonna fight back because I'm too scared or nervous to say anything. Like, I get it. But at this point, it's getting ridiculous, and we need to make people understand that what we do is very serious. We have a lot of passion, we put a lot of passion behind it, and if we're doing it professionally, then it needs to be respected. Like, that's all there is to it.
Exactly. What I've been doing personally myself on Twitter is whenever I see commission posts go up, I tend to favor commission posts that charge higher than what people average out on. Because I'm like, artists, honestly, you guys have to start bumping your prices up. You have to start thinking about this, like, how much is my time worth? How much am I, you know, like, how long is my art taking me to make? If you're going to be spending, like, you know, 2-3 days, like, you know, 30 hours on a piece, don't charge, like, $20, please.
Yeah, honestly, I get the issue. I've been there. I still need to raise my prices, because I'm kind of in a state where I need money, but it may be hard at first, and you may feel like, oh, but less people are going to want what I make. You're going to start realizing soon enough that as you grow as an artist and you get more of an audience, and if you keep pricing stuff the way that it's priced now, there's going to be a lot of high demand. There's going to be more people wanting what you make. And at that point, you're not going to be making as much as you should be. People are willing to buy what you are selling because they like it that much.
No, 100%. I tell a bunch of artists this. They might be worried about losing commissioners. And I told them the people that actually care about your work will pay you the money.
Yeah, that's another thing. But even if they're going to be like, you know, maybe a handful of people who just maybe can't afford or refuse to pay you, whatever, trust me, there are people who are more than ready to throw literal thousands of dollars your way if it means buying something from you specifically, because they love your art that much. Which is honestly the most insane but greatest feeling in the world. Like, let's be completely honest there.
Oh, yeah. No, I absolutely love it when people just compliment me, like, afterwards. Or people that tip me. I never expect tips.
Oh my god.
Is a thing.
Tipping
and it's just like...
an artist is just... I love you. I love you. Thank you.
No, it completely melts me away. And people that also just share my art that I've commissioned. And say like, oh, they make it their icons or they get people to use it. And I'm like, that makes me very happy that like people use my things.
Yeah, like that is simply the greatest feeling in the entire world.
Yeah, it makes me feel like...
let's normalize tipping artists, please. Just another thing. Like, it's not, obviously it's optional, but I don't know, man. A tip is like the one quickest way to get me like very excited and just sort of like jumping up and down, like going monkey mode. It's like, oh my god. It just sort of is another way of letting the artist know that you really do appreciate what they make.
Yeah,
especially when PayPal has certain...
Wow.
Yeah. Especially when PayPal has certain transaction fees where it doesn't let you actually withdraw the set amount that was sent to you in the first place. So tipping also helps counteract that as well. But, you know, again, we're not going to hate you if you don't do it, but we will certainly love you if you do.
I sort of raise my prices in combat to PayPal's, you know, cut that they take.
Gotta love PayPal.
Yeah!
Isn't it fun? Especially when it's starting to try and work against artists as well.
I got a... What's the new thing that people are on right now? Cash App? That people are using?
Cash App, Venmo, but I believe both are owned by PayPal, so I don't know how much different it is, but I mean, that's fair. But I also understand some people who can't make the switch, mainly because of international issues. Some alternatives just don't exist outside the country, so that's understandable as well. Can we just please have something accessible for artists that isn't trying to actively work against them? I'm begging you. Why is it so hard? Why is that genuinely an issue?
Just sign checks, do cash money orders.
Please, please. I just want to live a sustainable life. Why does everything have to be working against me? I'm literally just a little creature. What have I done?
Yeah. A lot of people also get the sentiment too, is just like, you know, this is what you asked for when you became an artist. And I'm like, no. I want to make art. That's what I asked for.
I want to make art. I want to make me and others happy. I want to make money. That's all that I really expected out of this, not all these issues. That would be real. Nobody signs up for this kind of nonsense. Sure, it's to be expected sometimes, but that doesn't make it right or fun. So, just please be kinder to artists. There's a lot happening right now that has just kind of been giving us the worst of migraines, and we're trying really, really hard to combat all of it.
That said, I do feel that people should not be too pessimistic about things.
Oh yeah,
currently,
for sure.
It's just like, I see a lot of doom posting on Twitter, and I'm like, shit didn't hit the fan yet. And it's better to be optimistic in these scenarios than to be like, you know, panicking and then everyone's talking about like, which platform are we moving on? And I'm like, calm down. It's good to be on multiple platforms. I'm just going to put that out right now.
Mm-hmm.
If you're an artist and you're listening to this, get on Newgrounds. If you're not an artist and you're listening on this, get on Newgrounds too, because
get on Newgrounds.
because Newgrounds is very good for just discovering artists. The front page is always different every day. You get different artists. You see a lot of familiar faces from time to time, but most of the time it's just unique and different varied artists. If you have an Instagram, get on Instagram. People are telling me to get on TikTok, and I'm just like, I don't know if I can.
No. Don't make that. That is... Save yourself from that platform. For me, I understand sort of like the skepticism or just kind of like mentally preparing yourself for the worst to come. I get that. Anxiety is fun. I kind of live with that every single day. But the worst hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
I don't think it's just doomed to happen anytime soon. When it happens, and we'll just have to prepare for it. But for now, try and continue just with your day as you normally would. Nobody's jumping ship, or I don't think like Twitter is going to become a barren wasteland. That's impossible. I refuse to believe it's ever going to like drop off at some point out of like popularity or how many people are on it. That's just no.
Even if Twitter goes bankrupt, someone else is gonna buy it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And they're gonna be like, I don't want to say Twitter's too big to fail, because like, you know, nothing's too big to fail.
True.
But there are so many fucking people on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
And it's gonna be so tough to get the Twitter audience, because like, what are different platforms gonna try and do, right? If Twitter dies and fails, you're just gonna get Twitter again at some point.
That's just the way that it works, honestly.
Yeah. People are like, go to Mastodon, and I'm like, I don't care about Mastodon. Or go
and like the people who say like, go to this and go to that, it's like most of the time it's either not accessible to every type of person, or it's literally the most unheard of thing ever. It's not going to have the same reach as like where I'm currently at right now, you know?
Exactly. And diversifying your platforms is a good thing. I recommend that for everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
But convenience is convenience, and Twitter is extremely convenient for people to just interact, share, and do a lot of things. This is where I would like to tell Tom at some point, Tom Pulp, just to introduce like a feed system to Newgrounds that's similar to Twitter, where people can at least share art that they like, and people can know that they're sharing, like, hey, this person, one of my friends is like sharing this artist, let me check out this artist. If we have something like that, and like a nested commenting system where people can have comment chains, I think the average person can start using Newgrounds a bit more, or at least the average artist fan.
For sure. Just with the way the things are now, honestly, I'm looking forward to being more active on Newgrounds, mayhaps.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Who knows? Maybe I might participate in some fun events. Whatever happens, I'm looking forward to it. I don't consider it like my last and only hope, because I think the Twitter apocalypse is gonna happen, then suddenly I'm gonna lose everything. It's not that. It's just like I'm branching out, and that's fun.
Yeah.
I want to experience new things. I want to introduce new people to what I make. So, yeah, and I I don't know how good Newgrounds typically is for announcing commissions and stuff, but if it's
there's literally a location at the very bottom of your Newgrounds page that's literally asks you like, hey, are you open for commissions, looking to collaborate? And then you can like, it says post your listing. And
actually perfect. Okay. Well, I take it all back. I'm definitely looking forward to that.
There's a collaborations tab that you can set up. You can like say available for work, looking for workers, wanting to collaborate with peers.
Okay, yeah, that's wow. How come I needed to get a Newgrounds like yesterday, like a million days ago? Like I should have done this before.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I'm happy to be here now, but still, that's everything I hear about this. It's just amazing, and it gets me more and more excited to be more active on there.
Yeah, it's really fun. At the very least, just post the things that you make on Newgrounds. I recommend posting on Newgrounds first, because you do have guaranteed Creative Commons licenses whenever you go on Newgrounds.
That's perfect. That is perfect.
You can literally set it where nobody can monetize off your work. Nobody can make derivatives off your work. So if you don't want people to make edits, you can just say that.
Right. Yeah, honestly, that's perfect.
It also has this thing where if you repost the art, you have to give credit to the artist.
That's honestly great. I'm not the biggest fan of reposting in general, but at least having that just makes it like a million times better in my book.
My own personal opinion on reposting is, as long as you're not making money, and as long as I'm being credited, it's fine. Even if I'm not being credited. Okay, this is just me. This is just my own personal stance. This does not apply to anyone else. But if I made my art and I put it out there, then it's kind of out there in the world. People can do whatever they want.
Right.
I'm not opposed. Like, here's the thing. People can make fan art of whatever. And I'm not gonna tell people what they can and can't do. I might, be like, hey, don't make this type of fan art of this thing, but I can't really control people.
Right.
Like, I'm not even gonna tempt the air and like tell people like, hey, what can you do or what can't you do with my own comic? I'm like, feel free to do whatever fan art you want, but like, if I don't share it, that just means, I didn't like it. I share almost everything, but like if you do something weird with my characters, I might not share it.
Right.
But yeah.
My personal stance, you're a lot nicer than I am in that regard. Not a fan of reposting. I personally believe that people who usually do a lot of reposting, like really big repost accounts.
Oh, I hate those accounts. Oh.
They siphon all of the interaction from that post from like the original artist and just have it on theirs, and it's the most incredibly frustrating thing in the world. All of that could have gone to the original artist, and then half of the time they can't even be bothered to credit them. And then even after they're told, like, hey, maybe you should at least credit this artist.
Yeah.
They just say, no, I don't want to. And it's like, oh, okay. Sure.
I do got a funny story about this, actually. So, I got into an argument with, like, this 200,000 follower account on Twitter.
Oh, big boy.
They were verified, too. This is before you could pay for verification, like, with Twitter Blue or whatever. And
this should be good.
And at first, I was like, oh, I thought it was an artist because I saw art retweeted. It was like this really like nice painting, and I retweeted it. And I was like, oh yeah, this is really cool. Like, this is a great style. Kind of reminds me of like, Kojima from the Castlevania series. Not Kojima, the like video game director, but like the artist, Ayami Kojima. And I was like, oh cool, this is like similar to her stuff. And like I really like this type of stuff. And then I go to his profile and I like scroll through his like media tab to find other art, and I'm like, wait a minute, you just literally repost like different artists for an aesthetic, and I'm like, oh my god, fuck you, dude. And then I commented and I'm like, I unretweeted and I like was like, dude, you have 200,000 followers, you could at least shoot like an or like a mention of like who made this thing. And then he was like, oh, I don't owe anything. And I'm like, what the fuck?
What? I don't owe you anything.
But here's the thing. Here's the best part about it. Okay, so I go through his account and I look at all his other posts, right? And he's a musician. Like a really crappy, like, SoundCloud rapper dude, producer, whatever.
Oh my god.
His actual posts do not get any engagement. He gets like at most like 15 likes on his things. And then I'm looking at it too, because like, part of the story I mentioned, he's a 200,000 follower account. Those are all bots. He bought those followers.
Oh my god.
And I'm certain he also paid for the verification, because before you could like pay like, $5,000, $2,000, like $10,000
Jesus Christ
to get verified on Twitter. Verification is a shitty thing. It was always a shitty thing on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, this dude spent so much money for imaginary clout. And there are people that do this on the regular. And I'm like, holy fuck, you guys got nothing going on with your lives that you have to do this.
For real. Jesus. Do not trust reposters.
I was arguing with a nobody.
Oh my god, dude. I mean, I've already dealt with reposting multiple times before.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
Here's the most saddest sentence I'm ever going to speak, but my art has been reposted on TikTok.
Oh.
And I've been made aware about it recently, and I was like, this sucks.
No wonder I don't want to make an account.
No, I don't. I mean, what I hear is like it's just terrible all around, terrible site. But I was like, that sucks. I don't want to make an account. I don't want to make an account just to go ask this person to like take it down.
Yeah.
But then I was like, then afterwards I was told, oh no, yeah, it appears like it's really hard to get like posts taken down on there. I was like, well, that's great. Guess it's there forever now.
I don't know. I know people get their stuff banned, or people get banned off of TikTok very often, but like not for like the repost stuff or any like copyright things.
No. So, moral of the story is I don't trust reposters for the most part. Like big repost accounts. Some of them are just the most annoying people you'll ever come across because they really do not care about the artist they're taking their post from. So, I mean, I do understand people who are lenient with at least being credited, because, you know, that makes sense, that's fair. They want to be recognized for their work, even if it's shared anywhere else. But for me personally, unless if it's something super specific, like a commission that someone paid for,
right,
and, like, you know, they're showing it off, that's totally fine. But if I made something with the intention of posting it to my profile, it's because I want people to know that it came from me.
Well, and, exactly, yeah.
And not, like, you know, have what could have been a lot of interaction be stolen, essentially, from my account and have it be somewhere else. Because, like, I've always seen it. This post blows up, and it's from the repost account, and you go check the original, where it came from. It's not even anywhere close to where the interactions were, and that's so sad to me.
This has been happening since the dawn of social media, and it sucks.
It really does. It's the most awful thing, but honestly, at this point, not much else you can do except make your boundaries very much clear and known to people that you do not want your stuff reposted, or at least without permission, or just with credit.
Watermark your things if you need to. I mean, luckily enough for me, nobody's really reposted my art.
It's never too late for it to happen, I'm just saying. Just mentally prepare yourself for when it does happen.
Yeah, I mean...
And don't be afraid to be like, hey, could you at least credit me, please? It's the least what I deserve. Like, that's just the logical thing to do. And if they say no, then, well, they have earned the right to be fought. You can fight them, I promise. You're allowed to do that.
No, that's completely fair. I mean,
it's in your right at that point.
I would. It's just I highly doubt any of my stuff is going to get reposted at any point.
Are you kidding me? It's like some of the most expressive, amazing art that I've seen in a while, and you're like, no, but I might care about it enough to repost it.
Yeah, no, that's what I think. I
think it's cool.
I don't think anybody cares enough. No, I appreciate that, but I'm like, maybe repost guys are like, you know, mid. I've seen better.
Now, I mean, on one hand, I'm glad they're not reposting, but on the other hand, they're mid. Alright? They don't know what they're talking about. I think what you make is pretty cool.
Thank you. I
won't steal your stuff, I swear. I'm not reposting your work. I'll just retweet it instead.
Hey.
Hell yeah.
And I think we're good to start moving to viewer questions. And audience questions, follower questions right now.
Alright.
Alright, so on Twitter, PastelFire @FrailBulb asks you, what your drawing process? I'm reading this as is, I'm not correcting people's comments, by the way.
Yeah. Alright, my drawing process. Well, if we're talking like the whole thing,
yeah, go for it.
I always start out like, the sketching process is kind of the mix of like the most daunting. It is the most daunting part for me because it's the idea of getting down the base of what you want to draw.
Yeah, figuring out what you want to do.
Yeah, it is. It is always. I think it takes me the longest personally, or like the second longest, because translating what I have in my head onto digital canvas isn't the easiest task in the world.
Right.
So personally, sketching is always kind of a little bit nightmarish, and I overcomplicate my sketching a lot. It's really weird. I used to do like silhouette stuff. It's weird.
So you do silhouettes in your sketching phase?
Okay, so I learned the silhouette technique kind of recently, right? And I applied it, and I really liked it. But then the sudden daunting realization fell on me. Oh no, this takes a long time. So I did this weird thing where my sketches, what it is that when you know how most people sort of like make the weird little skeleton looking base stuff.
Yeah, I've seen that around.
I color it in.
Oh, you color the skeleton thing? Okay.
Yes, I color it in and then I layer it with like the extra details of what I'm going to add before moving on to the line art. And I don't know why, but it just works. It makes me feel like I know what I'm going to draw better. Like I don't know. It's so weird and a little hard to explain, but ever since, kind of meshing those two types of, I guess, like sketching, it's really worked out in my favor, and it still takes kind of a long time to do, but personally for me, it's the best way to capture all the necessary amount of detail before I have to start line art.
Okay, and then you move on to line art, I assume.
Yeah, and then line art is even more upsetting.
Yeah?
Like, I know every artist has, like, their own opinion of, like, what is the worst, like, part in the art process, but line art for me takes so long. I have changed up my line art style so many times you have no idea. I'm currently on of like that mix of like thick outlines with thin inside, and I use this brush tool.
I love that. I love that type of look too.
Yeah. And then I have like this brush that has like this interesting texture to it. And line art is so hard. It's so hard because now I need to refine everything at this point. And sometimes I'm so glad I adopted the mindset of trust the progress, because I cannot tell you how many drawings I would have discarded at this point just due to the line art alone. Because I feel like in that process, I kind of hate what's happening. But I'm like, no, you have to keep going. You just have to trust yourself that eventually it's going to turn out the way that you pictured it. And it has. Like, it's so weird. I kind of shock myself sometimes. It's like, okay, wait a minute. This isn't that bad. So, I get line art out of the way. I don't think... Like, I want to spend as little time on line art as possible. And it helps that thicker lines usually reduces the amount of time you draw, if that makes sense.
No, I completely understand that, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely remember taking so much longer when I had a thinner line art style. Jesus Christ. And then of course comes my favorite part, because it takes the less amount of time, and it's genuinely fun. It's the coloring phase. I love colors.
Interesting. Coloring is the part you have the most fun with. Alright. Yes,
I love coloring. I love deciding the colors as well, unless if it's like for a character that isn't, like it's not an original character. They already have an established color palette. But I love deciding what colors I want to use and how I'm going to use them. It's just so fun to fill everything in, because now the piece is looking more complete. And of course, last comes shading.
It all comes together, yeah.
Yes. I do typical cell shading. That's the style that I use. I'm not good at rendering whatsoever. I don't know how to render.
I really like your cell shading.
Thank you. Don't ask me how to shade or do lighting. I don't know how. I'm actively lying to all of you. I'm tricking you. I don't know how. I'm pretty sure none of the light sources in my my drawings are like accurate to real life, but I don't care. It looks nice.
It's a stylistic choice. You don't gotta let them know.
Right, like rim lighting, it's my savior. Don't care if it's not realistic. I don't care. Rim lighting, gorgeous all the time. Works the best. Shading is also kind of like coloring. It's fun. It's calming. It's refreshing. I don't have to worry about anything else other than my drawing is about to be finished. And even though I struggle with shadows and lighting sometimes still, because God knows I don't know how light sources work, I still think it's another fun step. And that's usually about it. The last part is my quote-unquote backgrounds, aka the ones that I don't do because I can't draw backgrounds.
Yeah.
I am the
good
funny
old
artist
characters in space.
Yes, that or like the funny solid color with the white outline around the drawing. It works. I don't need to worry about backgrounds, not yet anyway.
Hey,
it's
it's
fine.
good for stickers.
It's true. That's so true. Besides, backgrounds for me are never going to be the main focal point of what I make. It's always going to be the characters that I draw. That to me is what always has been important. Because, like, I'm not here to do very fancy, expressive, or amazing backgrounds. That's not the skill that I built up. I like character design. I like characters, and that's what I'm going to be focusing on for the most part. But that's my sort of really weird, long-winded explanation of my drawing process.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much like, a good standard, like, look into it to let people know how your thought process works.
Yeah.
And I really liked hearing about your thick outlines and thin inlines.
Oh, yeah.
On the process, because I've done that before too, and like now that you mention it, I see it in your art definitely, and it pops out. It helps like make your art like pop out more. Again, good for stickers.
Yeah. Hell yes, for sure. It's definitely amazing for stickers. And then, of course, there's the unseen process of coming up with the drawing that I want to make.
Mm-hmm.
I know not every person has like an actual like vivid imagination. I'm pretty sure I have hyperphantasia, which means that I can perfectly see images in my head.
That is
so
sick.
That lends itself beautifully to me like picturing exactly what I want to draw.
Because I am the exact opposite. My head is empty. I don't
Empty.
see nothing.
Blank. Like, no, because it was so interesting because I even discovered that my sister has like the opposite of it where she can't see anything either, and I'm like, oh my god, I thought this was a normal thing, but no. I pretty much am able to sort of picture exactly what I want to draw in my head. It's just that I can't always capture it sometimes. Like, there's always like the style difference. It's like I'm not gonna have a one-for-one copy of what I imagine, but
that would
definitely
be a sick
does help. Oh, that would literally, yes, that would save so much time. But
just
for
photocopy
me,
your brain.
Oh yes, I've dreamt of I've imagined that wow, imagine us like connecting something to our heads just to be able to like be able to showcase exactly what we want to draw.
Just like AI art.
Oh, just like AI, no way. But yeah, for me it helps a lot to picture what I want to draw ahead of time. The only time that I don't know what to draw is when I have art block, and I hate it because when I have art block, I can't picture anything in my head. It's like, it's the worst thing in the world, especially when you're someone who's constantly imagining things. And it's just not just images, by the way. I can like whole scenes in my head. I could literally like watch an entire movie in my head if I wanted to.
Yeah, let's get you on animation.
Like, no.
Once
I start animating, I can't be stopped.
You'll be too powerful.
I'd be too powerful. It'd be over for everyone at this point. But if I get art block, I can't picture anything, and it sucks, and it frustrates me so much. But otherwise, I'm trying to always picture something in my head, how I want to plan out a drawing before, sitting down and sketching it out. And yeah, that's sort of like the most essential part of drawing for me, is the process of seeing it first in my mind before translating it to canvas.
So
that's about it.
I might, because I don't really go into my process that much, but so I don't have a sketching phase.
Oh?
At all. Maybe in comics, But I don't sketch. I just literally I put panels out on the page and then I fill them out however I feel like they need to be filled.
You are so powerful.
And then I just
Oh
put
my
a
God.
line on and see where that line takes me, and then, you know, the piece becomes what it is. Literally none of my pages in my comic have been planned out, you know, storyboard or anything like that. Maybe the first 6 pages. But then afterwards, I started changing my storyboards completely, and then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just draw the page like from start to finish, day of.
That is honestly so powerful. Oh my God.
The banner that I made for promotion for the show, literally done straight through. I just drew that pose as is. I put a line on. I think, where did I start on that piece? I think I started on the hands, and then I built everything around that. So that's what I do. Okay. I choose the starting point of a picture, and it's different for every piece. It's usually what is closest to the viewer. And that's what I draw first, and then I draw everything else around it. Build a character around that. And straight to ink, I don't sketch. And coloring, very quick. This is just my drawing process. When it comes to stuff like animation and what else? Storyboarding, there's a lot of trial and error. I still do things straight through. I don't have, like, you know, blocking out, like, you know, poses or anything like that. I typically, the first pose that I land on is the one that works. If not, I just delete and start all over from the beginning. So if I'm not happy with a piece or a pose, I just completely start over.
Right.
And I've done that multiple times.
Honestly, you're such a powerful artist. Like, people who can just go in without sketches kind of scare me, because that is like that requires so much skill. If I tried to just jump straight into a drawing without sketching it out first, I think I will cry, as I would be totally lost and I wouldn't know what to do. So that is some powerful stuff there. I'm just gonna say it.
I think what helped me out a lot with this is when I first started to learn how to draw, that was like when I was 20. And I was taking 21. I was taking life drawing classes where we had models come in. And sometimes I would forget to bring pencils. Actually, a lot of the times I would forget to bring pencils. So I would just use my pen and just draw the models that way with pen and put them in space and like different perspectives and everything, like throughout the page. And that kind of conditioned me into just drawing things straight through. And I prefer doing things that way. I don't really like erasing or drawing over something because it bothers me. I don't like spending too long on a piece, if that makes any sense.
No, yeah, I get it.
Especially in animation. Animation is just...
Oof.
Animation is where you do need to sketch, though. You do need to have a base, because the way how things move is more structured than just drawing, in my opinion.
Right.
You need to block things out and like move them from position to position, and then afterwards you can touch it up and draw over it once you have the motion down.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But, you know, that's my drawing process. The part that I struggle the most with is color.
Wow, okay, so just the opposite of me.
I will go for hyper limited palettes because they make sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, you make them work wonderfully. I think they're such a huge part of your style that I like a lot.
I think, personally, style is how you try to cover for your weaknesses.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing. Play to your strengths. This is what I say to everybody. Focus on what you're good at and really work at it. And
yeah, for sure.
Whenever I critique people, I always point out the things that they have done successfully. And I tell them, focus on this, because this is what you're good at, and I'd want to see more of this.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's exactly why I don't draw that crap. Not because I have no skill whatsoever. It's because it's just not a part of my style. I'm coping. I'm just coping. But I guess parts of it is also because I don't know. I've never been much of a background person in general. Like I know some
Mm-hmm.
people, like some artists, that can make some really breathtaking backgrounds. You're one of those people, by the way. I
Oh,
love your
thank
backgrounds
you.
that you make sometimes. Yeah, but for me, my focus, because I'm obsessed with character design. Everything about it. I don't know if I can call myself a character designer,
I'd
because
say
I don't
you're
have like a
there. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have a job in it or anything. I love I like to design characters though, and I like everything about it. So for me, my main focus has always been about like how I draw the character. Like they're the focal point. That to me has always mattered most, if that makes sense.
I feel that. To me, it depends on the piece, whatever the piece needs.
Yeah.
Because, especially what I do, I like to tell stories. I'm a storyboard artist, comic artist. If
Hmm.
the scene is more about the location, I will put the love and effort into the location. If the scene is more about the characters, I'll put more love and effort into the characters. It's an ebb and flow. They both are equally valuable when they need to be.
Right.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's like, we discussed our drawing process, and I feel like we can move on to the next question.
Oh yeah.
Oh, one of your followers, Porcomsis, or Porecomesis,
Hmm.
says, "Do you know that we love you very much and think you're awesome?"
Yeah. Oh my god. That's Echo, one of my friends. Very sweet. I am very hyper aware of just a level of respect, a lot of and just care a lot of my followers have for me, and I appreciate it so much. Especially during moments of like imposter syndrome where I'm like questioning literally everything that I've worked up towards. It's very fun, by the way. Totally recommend going through all that. But
Oh no.
but I really do appreciate it, and like not to be really parasocial, but I don't know. I want to strike this sort of balance of like having respect for those who follow me and support me, but also not like be that weird person who tries to form this intense parasocial bond. Dream. Who
No,
said that?
we don't talk about Dream.
Who said that? Um, but I do heavily appreciate it, and it's one of the main reasons why I keep going, because what how you feel about what I make and who I am matters to me. And it's always a really good feeling to sort of, see that support. So I'm gonna keep going for
Hell
not
yeah.
just myself, but for all of you guys as well. So I
No,
really do
definitely do it.
appreciate it.
I feel very similarly myself about my audience too. For me, what really makes art worthwhile is
Hmm.
if I'm able to make at least one person smile. And if I can do that, then I've done my job as an artist. To me,
Oh
that's
yeah,
success. And
for sure.
I know, like, for a fact, I've made multiple people like happy with my art, and that just genuinely makes me feel very good. It feels like, this is something that's worthwhile.
Oh yeah,
Not just for
definitely, for
myself, but like
sure.
for everyone else. And
Yeah,
that makes
yeah,
me
yeah.
extremely happy. So like, thank you, literally everybody that's just helping around, sharing my stuff, enjoying everything that I make. It means a lot.
Yeah, like genuinely just a huge thank you to everyone who has been here from the start and got me to where I am today.
Yeah. Another post says Three Stooges Fujoshi at our sports ball. Hi babe. Hi, listening right now.
Yeah, that's the voice. That's him. He is definitely one of my number one supporters out there, and I am very grateful for everything that he does for me and he puts up with. And oh my god, he's just the best.
You are a real run sports ball. Three
Yes.
Stooges Fujoshi.
Yeah, he's the silliest guy, the evilest guy, and I love him all for it. I wouldn't want him any other way.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Alright. Sayeki Snake asks, favorite type of monster girl?
That is the easiest question of my life. That is slime. Easily slime girl. I don't have a
Slime?
bias. What?
Okay.
Yes! I mean, Le Funny, technically mascot OC of mine, is the titular slime gal herself. I think it is just a very cool, fun design. I like the slime texture, like drawing it, being able to capture sort of like the kind of wet. I don't want to say moist. I know people think moist is a gross word.
The texture. Okay. The viscous texture.
Yeah. Sorry, I forgot that was a word for a second. I like. I don't know, and also just I like sometimes they're very big and shapely, as respectfully as I can put it. I just think that there's a lot of fun things you can do design-wise with slime-type characters.
There's actually... There's a slime
especially, like, you know... You want to make a slime character?
I have an idea. People will see it when it comes out. But it involves skeletons.
That's really cool. I also specifically like that there's a lot of the slime can do because, you know, typically, they can shapeshift, and, you know, I always thought that's a very cool element. Personally, for me, the slime species I guess I came up with, they have a scent to them, they have these funny little pointed ears and sharp teeth, because those are always fun design elements. No, I just think slime, and slime girls for that matter, are pretty cool. What can I say?
I know for a fact you're not gonna be the only slime fan that I'm gonna have on the show.
Hell yeah!
So, in the future,
solidarity.
Be sure to tune into that. Also, our sports ball, Three Stooges Vajoshi ask him what he thinks of Piccolo. So, what do you think of Piccolo?
Oh my god! I can't escape him! So, context for this, I guess, I suppose, I'm exposing myself for the whole world to know. Oh, so he's super into Dragon Ball. I'm not. I don't know anything about the funny Dragon Balls, right? But there was at one point where he was asking me, like, showing me certain pictures of Dragon Ball characters and asking me if I was attracted to them.
Yeah.
And then he pulls up a picture of Piccolo.
Yeah. You attracted to
Piccolo? And I made the mistake of saying yes, and he hasn't let it go ever since. And
you know, Piccolo's a bit of a daddy. You know,
I'm like, it's like, I don't know. It's like, it's embarrassing, but in a silly way. And he brings it up every chance he gets. He won't let me escape it. And he posts the same plush image.
The plush. I'm looking at it right now. Wait, I need to actually pull this up on the OBS for the recording so people can see.
Every single time he does this to me. He's been doing it all, like, recently, hasn't stopped, and it's really funny. But the last thing that I expected is for it to pop up here right now.
Yeah. Let me see if I can get, like, the viewers to, like, see it. No, it keeps
I know he's gonna come over, like, he's gonna immediately start, like, texting me and, like, going insane about Piccolo all over again. Like, I know him. I can't escape it.
Well, no, Piccolo's cool. I love Piccolo.
Yeah, I think Piccolo.
You should have watched Dragon Ball Z, is what I'm gonna say. Or Dragon Ball, at the very least. He appears at the end of that.
Okay. Sure.
Sorry for enabling.
No, it's fine. I know it's like good fun. Thanks. Thanks for the Piccolo jump scare. It's very appreciated.
Score Magala asks, what is the superior condiment to go on a hot dog? I have to settle a bet.
Well, I'm gonna be so sorry to disappoint, but I don't like anything on a hot dog. I'm a picky eater and I hate condiments.
You like the bare glizzy?
Yes!
The glizzy without any toppings? I got you.
And I'm not ashamed of it. Look, it's the smell, and it's the texture, and it's the taste. I can't stand it. Ketchup is specifically the worst, in my opinion. Just smell alone. I don't like the way it smells. Always throws me off.
Okay.
So,
Ketchup
I'm sorry, but I can't settle this debate for you. You have to have another Trusted source.
I'll put my hat in the bucket right now. I'll
Go for
say
it.
sauerkraut. I really like sauerkraut on hot dogs.
I can't say if that's good or bad because I don't like anything on top
Or
of it.
relish.
So
Relish is pretty nice too.
I'll just say that you are valid in your opinion.
Yeah. Let's see here. Token Aussie asks, "What's your dream setup look like? Like, what mix of comfort and productivity would be perfect for you?" So, what is your dream setup look like?
If ever in the future I have the opportunity to, be able to get everything that I need, one, I kind of would want a bigger desk.
Mhm.
It's pretty big as it is now, but I don't know, just kind of want a bit more space for all the fan merch that I've bought that I want to display. But just I guess to have it and also have it be more organized. I definitely want a new computer, for sure.
Okay, more powerful setup. Anything in particular you're looking for?
I have it saved. Like it's on my shopping cart on Amazon.
You're looking
because I
to
don't
build?
have the money for it. No, not build. Don't ask me to build anything. I don't know how. But I was recommended specifically a separate monitor in PC. It's an Acer brand Acer monitor.
Okay.
And a
Good
cyber
refresh
powered
rates.
PC.
Nice.
Yeah. I just because what I'm working with right now, it's efficient. It gets the job done, but it's really old. It's locked under my dad's Microsoft account, and it gets pretty laggy sometimes. Oh, especially when you boot it up for the first time, and also it doesn't have that much storage, and it can't run high-powered games very well. When I tried downloading Overwatch 2, it crapped itself into oblivion, and the game completely crashed. Okay, so like, I think it's about time that I get a new computer entirely because it's fine for what it is. I can get my drawings done, but I know I deserve better at this point.
Yeah, good equipment goes a long way.
Yeah, for sure. At this point, I don't really need a new drawing tablet. I'm perfectly happy with my Gaomon screen tablet that I have. It's the most recent tablet I have. I've only ever owned 2 tablets in my life. My first one was my Wacom medium tablet that has lasted me for like 7 years, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And then at one point, I saved up the money and I made the switch over to a screen tablet. I specifically got Gaomon because I saw it. It was an ad read in a favorite, it was in a video of one of my favorite YouTubers. They did like a review of the product, and I was like, "Oh, this looks really cool. Might as well test it out." And I was very happy with it. So on that end, don't need anything else. And I guess in terms of like what I would want scattered all over my setup, all the fan merch that I continually buy because I can't help myself. Like standees and prints that I put in frames so they last longer. Yep. And Gunpla. I'm getting into Gunpla.
No,
I have
you're
2 of them on my desk
pit.
right now. Yes! I'm into Gundam.
What are you building? Oh, hell yeah. Oh,
yes!
Oh, dude.
Yes!
You mentioned this right now at the very end.
I'm so sorry! I didn't know there was like a good time to mention it before. Like, you could definitely talk to me about it afterwards. I'd be more than down.
No, you're all good, yeah.
Yeah, I have... Well,
my god. What's your build right now? What are you building right now?
They're both already built. They were so much fun to build, I swear.
Yeah.
It's the Nemo and the gun cannon.
Okay, gun cannon. That's really sick. That's like Grandpa Gundam stuff.
Yeah, look, so the gun cannon is specifically because I love the character Kai from the first Gundam series, and that's what he piloted.
Yep.
So I really wanted his funny little thing that he piloted because I love him. And the Nemo is just, for whatever reason, one of my favorite mobile suits in the series so far. I don't know. I think it looks really good, and I think it's cute. Is it weird to call a mobile suit cute?
No, there are plenty of cute mobile suits, don't worry.
I don't know, I love the colors, and I had a really fun time building it, but the Nemo stressed me out just a teeny bit, because putting out all those stickers in really small spots was very hard. but it paid off in the end. So, definitely, I want more. Like, I want to build way more Gunpla and to just display it all on my desk at one point. Maybe even have like shelves of it. I don't know how far into it I'm gonna get in. I'm gonna be like building Gunpla. It's mostly gonna be like my favorite mobile suits from the series that I'll keep watching.
Oh yeah, no, that's pretty much how I go through most of my Gunpla. It's just like, what show am I watching? What shows have I watched? Currently, right now I'm watching Witch from Mercury, and am in love with this show. It's like probably my favorite Gundam show that's come out since Iron-Blooded Orphans.
That's awesome. I'm like pretty new to it. I'm currently on Zeta. It's been fun.
Oh, how many slaps? Because that's what I do with my friends. I just count the amount of slaps and I can tell what episode the person's on.
I don't count slaps, but I do just lose my mind every time Camille has this fit of like rage. He just punches someone, and it's great. It's been a fun watch.
Zeta's such a trip. I love Zeta so much.
I love Zeta. Camille means the world to me. I hold him like little hamburger. As well as Fa. I don't know any Fa fans, but if they do exist, hi, I'm one of them. She's also precious to me. I hold her like hamburger as well.
Shout out to Quattro Bagina.
Yes! Yes!
Completely original character, new man.
Oh, for sure. Oh yeah, for sure.
But
the totally original guy.
Speaking of, actually, like, Char in my comic is named after Char from
That's
Mobile
so
Suit.
cool.
I love. Cool. I own the fucking hoodie. That's pretty much just Char's military uniform from Mobile Suit.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, he's one of my favorite characters of all time. I love that man.
I called it. He sent 2 Piccolo gifts. What did I say? I knew it.
The Piccolo man.
He's not gonna let this go. But yeah, I mean, aside from like my general setup, my dream room is just full to the brim of all the fan merch I could possibly get my hands on. And specifically, one part of the room dedicated to a Linhardt shrine. If you don't know what that means.
Yeah, I know what that means.
I love Linhardt Fire Emblem. He is the babiest of them all. He is the man. I am the Linhardt guy. So, in order to make my love for him known, I want to collect everything Linhardt possible, put it in one place, and there we go. I am to become the ultimate Linhardt guy. It's a necessity. It's required.
It's like me whenever I get my forever home. I'm just gonna have an entire shrine dedicated to Kiss Shot from the Monogatari series.
Yeah. Like,
you don't know who that is, but to the people, my friends know. And they know how much money I've spent on, like, statues of this character. It's ridiculous.
Like, how else do you, like, prove to the world that you're, like, the #1 fan of the guy without dedicating a whole shrine to them?
Right.
Like, it's the only way. But yeah, that's pretty much about how I envision it. There's no money or space to do it now, but hopefully sometime in the future I will get around to getting everything that I've dreamed of, I guess.
Yeah. It's a work in progress.
Oh yeah.
And it's gonna happen. And the last question of the night, as we close it off, because we're like over 2 hours into this podcast / radio show. Who's your favorite video game character, and did that character influence your art?
Wow! Wait, like...
Huge question to end on, but yeah.
Linhardt?
Okay.
Okay, so... I know it's been a while since my whole 3 houses spiel that I typically cycle through, but 3 houses as a whole has been a very important part of my life. It has impacted me in such a huge way that I almost just can't put into words, and it means a lot to me personally. I'm very much just grateful to my best friend who introduced me to the series in general, and
yeah, Fire Emblem's
yeah, it is. And then on one fateful day, I stumbled across the man himself, the man of the hour, Linhardt von Hevering. When I tell you that he became essentially a key part of my life, I mean it.
This very tired and sleepy boy.
Yes, I mean, aside from his obvious, most charming quirks and his personality, one thing that is so important to me about him is how much I see myself in him. I am fully convinced that some guy behind the writing team was like, we need a neurodivergent character. We need it now. And then they just put all the most specific neurodivergent traits into Linhart and they just put him in the game. And I swear, I've never felt more seen in my life until I met him. Like, come on. At this point, it has to be intentional.
He's a very, very, very good character. And he's also just very idealistic too, but in a nice way where he's trying to just do the best for everybody. He's a sweet boy. He doesn't want anybody to get hurt.
Boy. He is a sweet boy. Literally, his dreams is to be in a world where there's nothing to worry about, where he can just lay down and have the nap of his life. And I'm like,
I feel that.
It's great. I love him with a burning passion, and you're gonna have to pry him from my cold, dead hands when the Three Houses fandom inevitably goes quiet, because I'm not letting go. I will be the last Linhart fan standing, if that's what it takes. I have the Linhart bag. No. We don't. I will just. I close my eyes and cover my ears and I go la 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 la. I don't know anything about Engage. Three Houses though, I know everything about that.
No, but yeah, Linhart.
I love him.
Your most influential character. Okay, cool. That's a nice thing to learn about somebody.
Yes.
And did Linhart influence your art?
I mean, he didn't influence my art per se, but he did influence a lot about me in the way that I sort of kind of treat myself.
Mm-hmm.
He made me feel less of like this outcast of a person, because I'm unfortunately still very much undiagnosed, but I've done a lot of self-assessing and I'm like 100% convinced at this point, yeah, there's something going on.
Yeah.
But everything that I felt like has made me very weird and unwanted over the years, I found a way to accept it through him, because he never once shows a problem with the way that he acts, and he never really lets the way other people perceive him bother him. And that to me is so important, and I wish to be as strong as him in that regard. So I want to be like Linhart. So yeah. Maybe not through art, but as who I am right now, yeah, he's done a lot for me.
Defiantly be yourself.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, that's a cool way.
Take many naps, many sleepies.
Sleep's important too. Never gonna forget.
Yeah.
That.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's the end of all the questions, and pretty much the end of the show. We went way over time, but
Oops.
That's no issue. It's all good. So that was this episode of Radio Graffiti with ft.bluueygooey. That's
Hell yeah.
at @BLUUEYGOOEY at Twitter. And it's over here if you're going to be checking out the podcast on YouTube. It's going to be written on the screen.
All right.
And this has been Radio Graffiti on Newgrounds Radio. I have been your host, Gents. GENC, Radio Gents. You can find me at Twitter, Gents, GENC, 4 underscores. And on Newgrounds, you can find me as Radio Gents. And that's pretty much it.
Honestly, yeah. Thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you for coming on. I'm so glad. And you've been a great guest. Love talking with you.
Thank you. Hell yeah, you've been a great host. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Hope in the future you can come on through again.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
And I'll let you know. All right, everybody.
Okay.
We're signing off now. Adios,
Hell
amigos.
Yeah.